You talk in the Facebook, you talk in WhatsApp, and then they quarrel. And then they don't come for service. So you're better than a monkey or not?
Much more better.
Two of them came and he told them what it is. After he sent the word out to them, God says to him, get up and go to the king's gate and speak directly to the king. So twice God is talking. Now, I want to tell you this. When God instructs you, He doesn't instruct you one time.
Yeah.
He comes again and again and again and again until you act. Or not after some time, you just harden yourself. He doesn't speak anymore. But God does it. The reason is this: sometimes we're not sure this God or not. Is this me speaking, or is the devil speaking, or is someone speaking, or is it God? We're not sure. And so what God does is He repeats Himself. Nothing wrong getting repeated every now and then, right? God repeats again and again until you go and do what He has called you to do. So this time around, God does it twice. One time to the emissary who comes to Him, and He gave the word. One time He goes direct to the king himself. Now He has never faced the king face to face yet, right? He's speaking it out only. So He goes to the king's gate and He spoke again. Now, few things that we looked at that God is interested in: foreigners, migrant, and that's important. In this land, most foreign workers are treated very differently. Not by the people, but by the people in power. Right? A lot of things they don't have, actually, unless someone fights for them. Right? So these are some of the things that took place. Now last time when foreign workers come and work, they don't have off days, No, they didn't have. Someone went and fought for them. Someone, a Singaporean who got up himself and then fought for it. And that's why they got off days. So these are some of the things. So God is actually telling the king, fight for your people. And that's important. So He asked them to fight for His people. So when Jeremiah was speaking, he says, get up as early as you can in the morning. Bring justice, he said. Why? As soon as possible. Because God is the God of justice. If you represent God, you must have justice. If you represent God, if you say I'm a Christian, if you say I'm a minister, or if you say I believe in God, you need to represent God, right? And then you need to speak justice. You cannot compromise. This is happening. We'll see a little bit more. So then he speaks to Zedekiah directly. Now the word Zedekiah means the Lord is my righteous. Am I right? That's the word Zedekiah means. Now his name wasn't Zedekiah. His name was changed. We'll find that out later on. Okay, so see, these are some of the things we talked about. Okay, we also talked about disease and symptom. A lot of time we are looking at symptoms, we are not looking at the disease. Society is not doing very well. It's a symptom, not the disease. Okay? And so we must understand between the symptom and the disease. Crime is increasing. We have crime in Singapore. Right?
Yeah.
And crime is increasing throughout the world. It's a symptom, not a disease. Okay? Sickness is rampant.
Yeah.
It's a symptom, not a disease. So what's the disease? The disease is this: people have walked away from God. That's the biggest disease we have. Right? The disease is so bad that we are diagnosing the symptom, not the real disease itself. So we looked at that also. Right? Now, first slide is there. The prophet who spoke to your generation, for God did not speak for conform.
Please, they irritate.
They irritate and oppose. That's what they spoke. It's irritation. Read the Bible, you realize they irritated everybody. He didn't say when the king came to send two men to come. How did Jeremiah reacted? Go and tell the fella. That's how he spoke. When Jesus was someone came from Herod asking whether he was Elijah. You know how Jesus responded? No. He said, go and tell the fox. That's how. So if you realize, it's always irritation and oppose. They didn't speak with peace. They didn't say, oh, the Lord loves you, sister, brother. No. God is kind. Nah, they speak the truth. They say, you, fox. You, terrible person. Change. Why? Because if you don't speak like that, what will happen? People won't change. People will live according to their ways. The Lord loves you, sister. You know. Are you sure now? Yeah. So when you look at it, this is how God spoke. The word that came out of the prophet was very irritation. He opposed everything. Why? Because he never followed God. So that's how the story actually starts off. Let me go back to my second sermon. I need to find where I'm supposed to stop and start. Wait on. Alright. He reinforced the appeal by reminding Zedekiah of the dreadful end of the three predecessors. Okay, next slide. The last good king of Judah was Josiah. He came to the throne when he was 8 years old and was killed in battle at 39 years old. Okay. Now we're not going to go into the reason why he went to the battle, but he was a very good king. Okay, that's the good thing about it. He was a very good king. Now who was Zedekiah followed by? He was followed by one who should have had it all the time. But the Egyptians decided to put Joachim on the throne, provided he paid tax to them. So that was the arrangement, right? So there was another king that was there that we don't see it. He was not there. Why? The Egyptian took him away and put this fellow away. Right? Now this fellow was not supposed to be the king. His name was Joachim. Now he was a puppet, he was a little man, and therefore he tried to be a big guy. He wasn't very big, he was a short fella. Very stout. He said, I'm going to build the biggest palace there were ever been. They didn't have the money. Okay? And he built this magnificent house. It had an upper story, paneled with cedar and painted with very good paint. He paneled it with cedar, he paneled, he's a little pocket pig, they call it. Very short fella, big, stout fella. And he wanted to be bigger than Pharaoh and Nebuchadnezzar. He wanted to show power. You don't have power, but you want to show power. Have you seen such people? They don't really have power, but you want to talk a lot. They want to say a lot. Now that's the kind of person he was. There were few things more pathetic than seeing a sinking nation trying to kid itself that it still is a great power. He did it with forced labor and heavy tax. Already they were not very good. Now he forced people to build his place, this magnificent palace, and then he taxed everybody up. Very soon, our GST will be 9%.
Yeah, next year.
Very soon, 1 cubit of water is 50 cents more.
Wow. Yeah.
Are we doing well
Wasting.
in this nation? No. A commercial vehicle, like our brother is driving, the COE has gone up to 90,000. That's a piece of paper. Yeah. And most of us need to understand why this has come up. And most of us don't understand, right? Let me tell you why it's come up. All the rental companies are buying up more cars, and they're not worried about the COE. So who actually suffers?
The owner.
The ordinary people. Who made this plan? The wonderful government. So this is how it is. So you realize you want to have good life. You say, oh, you must pay for it. It's a lie. The biggest lie. See, this is what's happening. So this is exactly what Joachim did also. He taxed heavily, right? He did with oppression and injustice. Now we know why people didn't want him. He was a man who saw his position not to serve people, but to use his power that he might be serving himself. And this happens most of the time. You realize back in the Philippines got a lot of things, huh? A lot. And never improved. Why? Injustice. No justice going on. Why? Every pastor and every person in the country also follow. Nobody stands up. Nobody speaks up. Nobody dare to do things. And so we are sailing in the same way. In order to get the people in the Philippine fellowship fight among themselves, you say I am for Marcos, another one will jump up and say I am for so. Fight already. We're not following God. We're following our political things. Follow God. And here is this fella. He thinks he's very big. Okay? Jeremiah says he wouldn't pay his neighbor for what they did. Joachim built his magnificent, imposing symbols of status, a palace. And God said, Joachim, at your funeral, there wouldn't even be any mourners. He will be dragged to the city gate like a dead donkey and left. You wouldn't even be buried. Of course, big funeral is the last status symbol you can have right now. Okay, people who have big funeral, dong, 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 5-7 days they do. The Chinese fire, big bonfire after that. Do you know how much money is that when they burn that one?
60,000.
You don't know, huh? That one $10,000. Yeah, burned up. Right? Then the fellow got no, that's about $20,000.
Wow.
Yeah. What's the point of having all the funeral when the fellow didn't even have a good life?
Yeah.
So this is the last ride. I don't know if we must do a last ride for our brother, or our father or our mother, But in real life, the fellow didn't even have any good things. And so here God is saying, you don't even have that. Okay, you build a big palace, right? No funeral, no mourners will come. Okay, you'll be dragged like a donkey. You wouldn't be buried. Now that's the other insult. Okay, someone dies, we bury them, right?
Yeah.
For Joachim, nobody buried him. He was left there. That's God, huh? Hello? That's God. You try to be funny with him, he will do it to you. So he didn't even have a burial place. Nobody showed up for his burial. Okay, no funerals took place. One other thing is God said to Joachim is this. I think it's very relevant to all of us today. And I've seen this in believers also, even in the Filipinos also, I believe. When they are doing well, they forget God.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, when they're doing well, they forget God. When they're in trouble, you can see them coming for service. When they're doing well, they don't even bother coming for service. Sad, right now? Now, here's the other thing. The time you run for God, He will not answer you.